everyone, Dave Hughes here, Selezen on the internet. Here with the video update for Elite Encounters role-playing game Kickstarter campaign. This is the second video update, 8th of June 2015. As you can see before you there. Okay, we'll have a few things to go through. I published your agenda on the Kickstarter updates and on the website earlier on today, so you should have some idea what we're doing. Okay, so today we're going to go into the progress that's been made on the game, what I've been doing over the last week or so. That will cover the character generation and rule system, the vehicle information and stats, some of the graphics that I've started doing for later phases in the development, feedback and questions, hopefully some questions from last time and some feedback, and let you know what the next update is going to be. Okay, so a little bit more structured than it was last week, as last week was a bit of an experiment, so hopefully we're getting a more sort of professional format today. If you're online and you're listening to this live, you can post messages in the chat and I'll pick them up as we go through, and if you ask any questions I'll try and answer them in the stream. Otherwise, if you're watching this on YouTube later on, then by all means make any comments in the YouTube channel or on the Kickstarter update, or on the Kickstarter main page itself even, or feel free to do comments on the, what's it called, on the website page as well. Okay, without further ado, on to the next page. So, this week, finally drew a line under the rewrite of the main rules. That is now complete, and I'm quite happy for that to go into more playtesting. If it goes through playtest, which hopefully it will, because essentially as it says on the screen there, any suggestions I've had from previous playtesting sessions have been implemented in this version of the rules. I'm going to do one last read through once I've got to the end of the next section, and just double check that everything's been put on there. Repeated content was a bit of a problem that I got some feedback from one of the playtesters, that there was some paragraphs that seemed to be repeated, rules being described more than once, system things that looked like being copy pasted from somewhere else. One of the side effects of having so many different rewrites on this book, and obviously some sort of quite tight deadlines to try and get things ready for playtesting at different conventions and so on, has meant that some things have been put in different places just to make it easier for me to reference, and then it'll be cleaned up afterwards, so hopefully that's all cleaned up now. The readability has been improved. I had to read through it myself, and again based on some of the content, some of the feedback from different playtesters, there were quite a few issues with the way that some of it was written. Character generation in particular seems to be a bit of a bugbear, where it wasn't particularly linear. So hopefully the latest rewrite has resolved that, and it should be a far more linear process to go through character generation, and it will all flow a lot more easily. Okay, the section that we're on to now is the rewrite of the vehicle information and the vehicle rules. As you can see on the screen there, that is the new vehicle record card, which is now a completely separate record card, completely separate from the character card, the avatar record file as it's called, which didn't have enough space, and getting it and moving it onto its own sheet has given me far more scope. I did try to avoid doing a whole separate sheet for it, but to be honest, vehicles and specifically ships are quite important in the Elite universe. Obviously transport's a very important thing. Elite itself is about spacecraft in general, so it deserves its own sheet. I mean, I suppose a lot of people would say that the vehicles can be with the spaceships, or it can be characters in their own right in these things. What with the sort of hobbled AI that they have in them. So this is the main process that we're going through at the moment. Is I'm going through all the different stats, trying to go linearly through the sheet as I have done with the character sheet. This is the first time I've tried to do it in this way, and to be quite honest with you, I can't work out why I didn't do it this way in the first place. Actually thinking of it in my head as a completely separate sheet, as a completely separate character, is maybe what I should have done earlier, and it's made it much easier to try and work my way through it in a logical sense, and then present it to the reader in a much more logical sense, so it's easier to read, and it should be much more easier for you to get the hang of what is what in the shape sheets, in the vehicle sheets. Okay, so the work has begun on bringing the vehicle rules into alignment with the new general system. It's a bit of an odd one, that one, because as I've read through the vehicle rules that have been put through so far, there's so many different bits and pieces that are, because it's been such a hodgepodge part of the development, trying to make it work for an in-game narrative session and as miniature rules and as more complex in-game rules, it became quite piecemeal and it was very, very fragmented. So I've had to go through a major rewrite of that part of it, just to get rid of some of the rubbish that was there that just wasn't needed anymore, and bring it more into focus as to what it is, which is try and make it mostly a narrative part of the game. The vehicle file is there to basically give you a record of your ship, what it's got in it, how it works, or not so much how it works, but what the equipment is that's on there, and so on. Interestingly, even this evening, there's a bit off the bottom of the page there of that screenshot, where you can maybe just see that it reads internal compartment. Some of the information removed from the side that says systems there, on the left hand side of that screen, just at the bottom says systems. That bit has been moved and put inside the internal compartment section, because it made more sense to have that in there. And when you see what happens with it, I'm sure you'll agree with me. Well, I hope you'll agree with me anyway. It works for me, and if it makes things easier for me to read through as a writer, then I'm sure it'll make it easier to, but the thought is behind it, they'll make it easier for you as a reader and a player to understand where things are, why they're there, and how they work. That pretty much covers all that, really, doesn't it? Didn't get quite out of order, so I do apologise if you were following through the bullet points and I lost you on it. Okay, one thing I've been looking at on and off over the past few weeks are the graphics for mainly the ship posters. Those of you who follow me on Twitch have probably seen that I do quite a lot of photography within the game of Elite Dangerous. Primarily getting ship photographs and beauty shots and top-down views and side views for using on various different things. Part of that's for the ship counters that will be developed, and part of that is for these things, which are the posters. This image on your right there is essentially a template. It's a concept, just checking how the text would look, how things would look, how we need to lay things out. It's a very square image compared to what it's going to be, because it's going to be a double page spread. That image is much larger than it will be in the main book. It'll probably be about half that size, because there will be quite a lot of information about the ship actually presented on that poster as well. The theory would be that you could use it as a double page spread in a book, or you could use it as a poster or a postcard or a desktop wallpaper, or just to make it something that's versatile. On there you would have all the default information about that ship as you would buy it from the factory before you add any modifications to it. So I've started testing different layouts for that. I'm also looking at layouts for the pages themselves. So how will the page numbers be displayed? How will will there be any background to any of the text? Will there be a border? Will there be sort of designs around the edges and so on? And I've tried a few different options for that at the moment, just basically very simple things. That's obviously a stage down the road there, but that is something that's very much work in progress. The other vehicle types, so you've got cars, you've got planes, you've got all sorts of different things other than spaceships, and obviously the information for them is something that's going to have to be made up more or less in-house by myself. So I am looking at how can I get that to look as professional as this, as professional as your screenshots there are. That has proven to be a bit of a problem, so I'm still working on that particular aspect of it. There will be descriptions of vehicles, probably very generic types of vehicle type things, so rather than going through each different class of car, like for example, if you use present day examples, will I have stats on Vauxhall Astra, will I have stats on Ford Fiesta? No, it won't. It'll be car, this is is your general car, this is what you can add to it, this is the different style of car you can have, for example hatchback, sports car, family car, SUV, that kind of thing. So they were split up that way. You'll also have trucks, vans will be separate. Aircraft similarly, you'll have fighter aircraft, you'll have drones, you'll have passenger aircraft, jetliners, that kind of thing. Not entirely sure at the moment how much down the tech tree we're going to go with that, whether I'm just going to leave it as essentially at the moment things are jet powered with a hydrogen fuel cell on board, which is what the technology is for engines and power plants these days, or whether I'm going to go down and say things like combustion, properly explosive combustion engines or rockets or anything like that are going to be in there as well. Propellers, for example. Are we going to go down as far as having propellers? Not sure. Seagoing vessels as well. Will we have traditional propeller types, or will we have impellers, or will we have water jet type power, hovercraft, that kind of thing? A lot to cover on there. I mean, a lot of it has been covered in the book already. It's just a matter of trying to narrow it down and make it a little bit more concise, because it's quite large, that section at the moment. So the question at the bottom there is, would people be interested in wallpapers featuring these posters? If you want to see desktop wallpapers for your computer or for your phone, they'd be obviously free because they'd be provided as part of the Kickstarter general license agreement produced for the book. If you want copies that are separate from the book so you can have them on your desktop wallpaper or something, then let me know by email or by any of the contact methods that you'll see at the end of this broadcast. Okay, feedback we've had, that's it for as far as content's concerned, so that's basically where we've been the last week and where we're going for the next week. Feedback we've had so far has been quite mixed. I've been quite surprised about the different range of feedback that I've had. The weekly video versus monthly text updates argument has been, I'm not going to say loud and proud, it's not, it's only been a few comments either way, but it seems quite split between whether it's a good thing to move to weekly videos or a bad thing, or whether the monthly text updates were better. The majority of the problems seem to be around the fact that people may not have time to watch a video, whereas they'd have time to read bits of a text file now and again. The only way I can answer that is the fact that, as I said in my previous broadcast, ultimately I need to do what's more productive for me. What I have done, as you'll have noticed in the update text that I sent out earlier, was that I am reducing the length of the stream, so that the actual Elite Encounters update stream will be its own stream, its own separate file. So when it goes to YouTube, it will be its own separate file within YouTube as well, which will go under its own playlist. That means that YouTube will be able to categorise it as something it can try to close caption, or hopefully, if I've worked out how to use this properly, do automatic transcription of the text. So a text file should be generated with it automatically, closed captioning will be on the screen, and hopefully the transcript file will be either available on the screen to read separately or can be downloaded as a separate text file. I'll have a look into that, and I will have a look at the options for that, and if it's an easy process to do it, I'll make them available as an update as well, or as a separate text file. Again, let me know how you feel that goes. If you have any other comments as far as that, let me know. Now, one thing that has become clear within the comments is a few people have stated again about the delays in publishing this book. I'm a little dismayed at the fact that the change to a weekly video has been used as another launch pad for yet another round of how long is this going to take. I do understand the fact that it's behind schedule. I very much do understand that, and I do regret the fact that it has got to the stage it's got to. However, I am not going to release this book until it's finished, and I'm going to make damn sure that the quality of the book when it is released is up to my standard. And if that doesn't fit with your timescales or your idea of a well-run Kickstarter, then I'm sorry, you're looking at the wrong Kickstarter. I will not compromise this product. I will not release a load of crap that doesn't read well, doesn't flow well, and is basically a pile of rubbish. If you want, I can publish it now. I can give you all the text files you want, but it'll be shit. I'm sorry if that offends anyone's sensibilities when I start swearing about that. But quite frankly, I've given several apologies, several reasons for why things are going the way they're going, why things have been delayed as much as they have, and some of them are my fault, some of them are not my fault. Real life happens. I'm not the only Kickstarter that's in this boat. There are several Kickstarters that have been in this situation, and one person on the comments noted that he has backed many Kickstarters that have had this sort of situation, and it's just another one of the same things that go in the same bin as things I wished I never backed. Well, I'm sorry, but if that's something that happens frequently, then certainly by this point you would be expecting that there'd be some delays. Quite frankly, I have a full-time job, I have a family, blah 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 blah. I have other responsibilities, which I have worked around in order to get to where I am now. I will continue to do that to the best of my ability, and will get this done as quickly as possible. You can rest assured that there are, other than nights where I have to spend time with my family, or risk divorce, any spare moment I have in front of my computer in my office is spent doing something related to this Kickstarter. I can guarantee you that. Something has been mentioned also about the fact that I am now playing games on a stream. Yeah, well, there has been quite a lot of negative comment, and the volume of that negative comment was quite loud, and I'm not entirely sure what to say to that, because I'm not entirely sure if the expectation of a Kickstarter project is that the person who is doing this Kickstarter project should spend every waking minute doing and thinking about this project. If I went into the reasons why I feel the way I feel about that comment, then I would probably talk all night, and I'm not going to talk all night, because I said I would try and limit this to about 15 minutes. I have written an extraordinarily long and quite vociferous piece of text on this subject, which I am hesitant to upload and hesitant to publish, because it does go into a lot of personal detail about my own situation and the situation of my family that I'm not entirely comfortable sharing in public. Those of you who have read the previous text updates over the last 2 years will probably know some of it and probably guess at some of the rest. But suffice it to say that 70% of my working week is involved in my full-time job. 25% of the rest of 25% of that time of the time of my life is spent caring for my family, and the rest of the time is spent either concentrating on the game, or doing updates, or streaming. Now, the streaming is my downtime, basically. I started streaming because I was advised that having downtime and time to enjoy life to some extent is important. Otherwise you will have a rather bad time of things, which has been already proven in my life and in the lives of some other people who are in the middle of Kickstarters at the moment. So I am not willing to compromise my health, my well-being, which would then obviously compromise the quality and rapidity of the Kickstarter that I'm trying to achieve. So as far as the apologies, as far as the streaming and playing games occasionally is concerned, I will continue to do that because it's good for me, and it means that I can stay sane. I can remember that there is fun in life out there somewhere, and that it's not all about work all the time. I understand that you have paid for what you are going to receive, and you will receive it. You will definitely receive it. I can promise you that I will not stop working on this until it is finished, and it will not take a horrendously long time more to do. So I just want to repeat myself there, so I'm going to draw that one to a close. Suffice it to say that I am working on this as often and as long and as hard as I possibly can, given the constraints of my life at the moment. So if you have an issue with that, then by all means get in touch. If you wish to discuss it in person, I'm quite happy to speak to you on Skype or by email or on chat or anything like that you want to talk about face to face or live, as it were, including on this stream. So if you want to pop on the stream, have a chat, feel free. If you want to pop onto Skype and have a chat, we can do it either in private or we can do it on stream. I have no problem. I will gladly answer any questions as long as they are put in an objective and constructive way. Right. Location of EE updates in stream. Yeah, that was one of the comments that I had, was that it was going to be quite difficult to find it in the middle of a stream. Yeah, that's a fair point. Very good point. Hence why I've done it this way I've done it today, and outlined it in my previous brief update. The updates will now be done as a separate file, a separate stream, and a separate upload to YouTube, completely independent of the Selezen Plays branded stream. So hopefully that should resolve more of the problems. So your EE update will be at 8 o'clock on a Monday night, on time. Okay, how to contact us. The next page will have some links on there, but you can contact me in various ways if you want to get more feedback and questions in. By all means, you can email or contact me in another way at any time during the week. Just get it in sometime, so I've got enough time to get it ready for the Monday night stream, and I'll include it in the update if I can. If you want to be on the stream itself, then feel free. Last week we had Sam Byford, or Bifford as he's called in game, joined me in Elite Dangerous to have a bit of a flyabout, and that was most enjoyable. So if anybody else out there is interested in having a chat live with me online, either in Elite Dangerous or through Skype while we both play it, or even just via Skype, and we have a mill about and just a chat, then by all means feel free to do that. Get in touch, let me know what your details are, and we'll make sure you can get on the stream. It's also a very good method of getting your views aired as well. If you have an issue, or you have a problem, or you have something you want to complain about, or even compliment me about, which would be a unique thing, then by all means you are welcome to do it live. I'm taking a big risk by saying that, but yes, I will answer negative and positive criticism live on stream, where I haven't got time to make up an excuse. Alright, okay, so that's about it for me tonight. The next update will be Monday 15th of June, 8 PM UK time, right here, right now. Update will be at the start of the regular stream as I've done it today, and if you can submit your comments, questions and feedback by next Monday at 6 PM, it will be included in the broadcast. My contact information is on the screen there. daftworks.co.uk/eliterpg is the official Elite role-playing game site. Twitter.com/HDSelezen is my Twitter address. Obviously the email address there, if you want to use my email address, that's fine, just don't publish it anywhere. I'm sure you can work out what it is from that brief description on there, and the rest of it's on. I'm not going to read it all out to you, you can see it on the screen. Okay, so that's about it for tonight. Thank you for listening again. If I've failed to mention anything you feel I should have done, then by all means get back to me and let me know. I will quite happily, as I have said, deal with any of your questions on the stream. Just let me know what you want to say. Okay guys, it has been a blast. I have been Dave Hughes, and I'll speak to you next time.